Welcome to my PTE academic class on repeat a sentence. These are my contact details, which also have been mentioned in the description below. Please follow them and subscribe to the channel of YouTube so you can get the latest videos. Let's talk about the test structure first. PTE Academic has got three distinct parts. Part 1, Speaking and Writing, which is for 77 to 93 minutes. Part 2, Reading, 32 to 41 minutes. And Part 3, Listening, 45 to 57 minutes. Before the Part 1 begins, there's an unmarked section called as Introduction for about 30 seconds. And between Part 2 and Part 3, there's an optional scheduled break for 10 minutes. Let us talk about speaking first. Speaking has got 5 item types called as read aloud, repeat sentence, describe image, retell lecture, short questions. Read aloud has 6 to 7 repetitions, repeat sentence has 10 to 12, describe image has 6 to 7, retell lecture has 3 to 4, and short questions are 10 to 12. Today, our focus is going to be on repeat a sentence. The skills which are tested in repeat a sentence are speaking and listening. The marking is for content, that is 3 marks, pronunciation for 5, fluency for 5, and the total is 13. The format of this type of question is, the task is that after listening to a recording of a sentence, you need to repeat the sentence. The skill which is going to be assessed is listening and speaking. The prompt length will be 3 to 9 seconds and the words will be approximately 5 to 15 with an average of 7. The total time to answer is about 15 seconds for this question type. Let's talk about the problems now. As these questions are extremely important because the marks are added in listening and speaking. The problems are also acute. We have insufficient memory to handle sentences above 7 words. Most of the time, the students forget the sequence. There is no time to think, and the outcome is mainly monotonous with no stress, no intonation. Let us understand the marking in detail. First is content. The errors which are considered are replacements, omissions and insertions of words, hesitations, filled or unfilled pauses, leading or trailing material are ignored in the scoring of content. You would be getting 3 marks if all the words are spoken in the correct sequence. 2 marks in case 50% or more is spoken in correct sequence, and 1 if less than 50% is spoken in correct sequence. There would be nothing if you do not speak anything from the response. Oral fluency. I have a separate video explaining oral fluency, but here I would just tell you that the grading is out of 5. 5 being native-like, 4 is advanced, 3 good, 2 intermediate, 1 is limited, and 0 is disfluent. For pronunciation, again I have another video. 5 marks for native-like, 4 for advanced, 3 for good pronunciation, 2 for intermediate, 1 for intrusive, and 0 for non-English. Let's see the tips of repeat a sentence. The first tip is sequence. You are scored on the correct word sequences that you produce for this item type. So it is very important to remember the sequence of phrases. Let us take up an example. Next week's tutorial on Tuesday has been cancelled. Now, if I do not remember the sequence, next week's tutorial on Tuesday has been cancelled. If I do not speak in this sequence, I will be penalized. So if I speak on Tuesday has been cancelled, next week's tutorial, I am not going to get marks. Listen for meaningful phrases in the sentence and you have a better chance on repeating what you heard. Stress and intonation is the next step. To score wonderful in this question type, you have to reproduce the exact stress and intonation of the speaker. Now you have to make a mental note how the speaker uses stress and intonation on the recording. These patterns will help you convey the meaning better. Speak calmly and clearly. Copy the stress and intonation. Look at the pattern below and check the underlined words. I'm going to attend the briefing for students. It does not have stress. It does not have intonation. I'm going to attend the briefing for students. It is much better and will score much better. Let's learn evaluation of repeat a sentence. I'm going to show you one example and then 3 samples so that you can understand the difference between good and bad. Most teaching staff make the lecture notes available online. This is the sentence. Let us see how do people speak. Sample 1.
Most teaching staff makes their lecture notes available online.
The feedback. This is for level B1. Now, what exactly is the level? A1, A2, B1, B2, and C1, C2 are separate levels, A being the lowest and C being the highest. I would grade this as B1 because the speech is disconnected and has weak phrasing. A lot of words are unclear because of incorrect pronunciation of some vowels and consonants. Let's look at sample 2.
Most teaching staff make their notes available online.
Now the feedback. This is slightly better than sample 1. The speed of speech is acceptable, but there are some words which are disconnected. The word stress is inappropriate because he's using stress on the wrong words. Minor pronunciation can be seen, but it does not affect the understanding. Let's talk about sample 3 now.
Most teaching staff make their lecture notes available online.
Now the feedback. This would be slightly better than sample 2. Most of the words are repeated accurately. Word stress and sentence level stress are also fine. The pronunciation is quite understandable and I would give it a level C1. We have come to the end of our session and you know a lot about repeat sentence. I would suggest that you go to my blog for further practice. PTEpractice.com is an excellent website for practice as well. Thank you.